Well, thank you, Jenny, Vice-Chancellor, my parliamentary colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what an exciting and powerful expression of leadership by both this university and the state of South Australia in this field of contemporary music. I can't imagine a better choice of leadership for this beautiful institute than to have Sia Furler, a wonderfully talented Sia Furler, giving her name to this institute. Of course, Sia's talent has a foundation in her beautiful mother, Loane Furler, who's here with us today. I was telling people when we arrived, the first time I actually saw Loane was in the Austral Hotel. She was wearing leathers in a rockabilly band, pumping out some great music one Sunday afternoon down there in Rundle Street. And her obvious talent, including her great capacities as a visual artist, obviously provided some of the talent pool for Sia. And interestingly, Sia's talents draw across a range of media for her artistic expression. I do want to applaud the university for setting up this new institute and for naming it after one of our most important creative exports. Over the years, we in South Australia have produced really an impressive number of world-class and highly successful contemporary performers. In the 70s and 80s, Cold Chisel achieved fame, belting out some music down at the Largs Pier Hotel and shaking the foundations down there. The Angels, once called the Keystone Angels apparently, made their name by playing gymnasiums at high schools in Adelaide's southern suburbs. Sarah McLeod in the 90s and the Super Jesus were one of the coolest bands in the Triple J firmament. And at about this time, Dave Graney and his moustache emerged from Mount Gambier. And in more recent times, people like the Hilltop Hoods, the Audreys, I Killed the Prom Queen, Wolf and Cub, have not merely captured, but they've defined the musical zeitgeist. So Sia has followed in these footsteps of these fine musicians, but she struck out on a path notable for its originality and for its embrace of the evolving new. It seems to me that Sia, above all else, is thoroughly modern, independent, and what we might call artistically entrepreneurial. Her work defies easy classification. Her concept of performance is incredibly broad. She's as comfortable singing as she is writing massively successful songs for others, and she expresses herself in various forms of media. She takes control of her work and her image in a manner that's worlds away from the arbiters and the shapers of musical styles and tastes. In the light of what we've heard today about the purpose and philosophy behind this new institute, I can't think of a better symbol to provide the name for this institute than Sia Furler. For me, her approach is both about making and publishing the music which represents the future. And it's an ethos that's empowering, and it takes form of all sorts of creative endeavour in a city like Adelaide. Since I've assumed this role, I made the shaping up of Adelaide, the city of Adelaide, and its revitalisation of the local live music scene, one of my personal particular priorities. My government has done this by setting up and backing something that hadn't really been seen before, certainly in this state and really around the nation or indeed the world, and that is to locate a music development office within the economic agencies of government. It's the first office of its kind in Australia. It struck me when we had the benefit of the Martin Elborn report that when he analysed the challenges that face the music industry, he could have been describing the manufacturing industry. And yet we didn't locate our music industry in the same sort of industry support context that we did for our other forms of endeavour. And of course the blend, what's actually happening now, is that what we used to think of boundaries between industries are collapsing with technology beginning to break down those barriers. So what we've done is we've also sought to encourage this live music sector. It was interesting, Melbourne did a quick study on the live music sector and they expected to find out they led the nation. They found out we did, which was very happy, so we published that and took advantage of it. But we want to do more to encourage our live music sector. We have the power to do this through legislation. We've set about loosening some silly restrictions on the type of acts that can perform, types of day, types of music, and we're going to make sure they're swept away out of our liquor licensing legislation. We've also made the idea of a vibrant city at the heart of our economic renewal for our state. We believe that modern regions compete on the attractiveness of their capital cities, and capital cities can cut through in a crowded international marketplace, in a media-saturated society, and actually give a message about a place and tell you something of the values of a place. And live music is a powerful way in which we can do this. And I saw this on display in Adelaide's sister city at Austin in Texas just a few weeks ago. As part of my visit, I visited the amazing South by Southwest Festival, a music and cultural festival which also has an important ICT element to it. And I was blown away by the number and quality of the elements of that event. I saw for myself how the spirit of that festival has pervaded many local industries, not just the cultural sector, but has helped make Austin a cool and dynamic place to be all year round. In Austin, I realised two things: that creative cities are by nature open and outward-looking, and that open and outward-looking places are invariably innovative and prosperous. I mean, this is part of our economic future. This isn't just about enjoying music, as wonderful as that is. It's also a basis for which we can actually create a new conception of our state. Don Dunstan understood this back in the mid-60s. He was faced with the similar challenges that are now reaching their crescendo now. He read the book, Lucky Country by Donald Horne, authored in 1964, which said that we need to be more than just a farm or a quarry. He called upon us to be a clever country, not a lucky country. He called on us to actually invest in the cultural elements that expand the nature of what we offered to the world. And this is what Don Dunstan was seeking to do when he built the first festival centre anywhere in the nation. He understood that a city can be a projector of cultural capital, and that this would sit at the heart of the diversification of the economy. And so it's that project that we are continuing with this work. If you, as I saw in Texas, and you see all around the United States and indeed around the world, the economic challenges we face in this state are no different from the challenges that have faced the industrialised regions in many places in the world. And so precisely the kind of qualities we need to foster in this state are represented by an institute of this sort. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're embarking on here today is inspiring for its own intrinsic merits. Just the beauty of music and the joy of living that comes from that. It reaffirms Adelaide's status as a UNESCO City of Music. And we need to be proud of that. That's not something that's just conferred on any city. This is something which is conferred on a relatively small number of cities. We should be proud of it. We should be asserting it. This new institute gives us an opportunity to sing it from the rooftops. Thank you very much, and congratulations.